Welcome back to this week's episode of I'm Just Saying Sports Talk. Today we're going to talk about the one and done eligibility criteria for the NBA. We're going to explore that a little bit and give you our thoughts. So, Kendrick, you want to start us off on your thoughts about the one and done phenomenon?
Yeah, I think the one and done thing is doing more harm than anything to the NBA, to the game. It's really it's watering down the game. It's making the game not even worth watching. I mean, I can see better games in college basketball than I can in the NBA right now. It seems that way.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy watching the NBA, and I still did to a certain extent, but it's just these. I don't know. It's just these guys. I mean, we know from year to year, for right now, the past 5 years, we know which teams are pretty much going to be at the top. We know this,
Right.
and this is because of the one and dones.
Okay. So for our viewers that don't know what the one and dones are, this is just basically the NBA's requirement that a potential draft candidate has to at least be 19 years old
That's right.
before before they're eligible for the draft. So meaning they're going to have to do a year of college
Something.
or some other
Over
professional
some
overseas
Yeah.
to be eligible for the draft. So I was thinking about this, and I know one of the, outspoken college coaches is Coach K.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a lot to say about it, and I think even Adam Silver, the commissioner, has been talking about adjusting it and maybe making it to age 20. So basically, you become a two and done versus a one and done.
Yeah.
So, from the college coach's perspective, with the exception of Coach Cal, they feel like it's hurting their recruitment. And it's hurting, in their theory is that when they go out and recruit guys, they now have to promise these freshmen that they're going to play
Yeah.
because their intent is to play 1 year and leave.
Yeah.
And, coaches like Coach K, and they like to develop players, or even, Carolina's notorious for, developing a player. They don't never put their freshmen out there to be the star or to run all the offense through
Unless
them.
you're a complete stud.
Yeah, but generally they kind of let their upperclassmen
That's right.
carry the load,
Yeah.
and then bring their freshmen along, so they always had talent in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
But this one-on-one thing, they're making the 5-star recruits say, look, I know I'm starting, right? And I'm going to get a ton of minutes because I'm trying to go. And if you can't promise that as a coach,
I'm going somewhere else.
I'm going somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
sort of I think it's morphed into a different conversation where it became about getting a degree.
Yeah.
And I don't think the college coaches, their main concern isn't the degree, it's the recruiting to stay competitive.
No, it's that check.
Well, it's the check. Of course, you want to win.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's like, because I'm kind of like this, right? And I'll get to my final, well, not my final, but how I feel about it today.
Yeah.
View. But it's like, okay, for those that say, well, it's about getting kids an education and they still stay 4 years to get their 4-year degree. Well, okay, I play devil's advocate. Well, if you want to be educated, if the goal, if you have a guy that's 6'11", and he's been 6'2" since middle school, and his goal in life is to say, I want to play professional basketball. I'm not interested in school. There's no degree that I want, but I do want to be a professional basketball player. Mm-hmm. Okay. But I have to go do this year in college to get there. Okay. That's his goal. Ideally, we do like to put our values in the way that we see life on others. Of course, education never hurts. But this is the other thing. If he does go one and done and he goes to the league, what's to still stop him from getting an education if that was really his goal? You can still get an education.
You can.
You can get, whatever school, most major schools now have online programs.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. Okay. Then what about the one and done? Say they go and, and they don't make it. And they say, man, they blew an opportunity at education, at a free education. Well, guess what? Most states you can still go to community college for free for 2 years. And then you can work, and then you can still go to school if it's truly a priority.
Exactly.
Because if it's not a priority, no matter how much money you get,
yeah,
you're not going to go. And I'm not saying it makes you any better or less if you go to school or you don't go to school. I'm just saying school, and I'm getting a little bit off, but I'm just making a larger point. School means different things to different people. For some, education is a means to get a job.
Yeah.
It's, I got to get this education so I can get this job or get this certification or get this license.
Mm-hmm.
Some, it's a way to be self-actualized. It's a way to reach their full potential, to say, you know what, I want to develop my mind, body, soul, and brain to its full potential. Mm-hmm. Some people just enjoy school. They like the act of learning. So what I'm saying, education isn't one thing for everybody. Some, it's a way to transcend the circumstances which you're in. If you're not rich and maybe you haven't been left a lot, maybe your avenue is, man, I have to know more. I have to be just as competitive as everyone else. Some, it's, you're sitting in a business meeting. The trick with education is you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You don't realize you don't know it until you know it with a lot of things.
True that.
So the point I'm making is there's no right or wrong. We all have free will or whatever. But I think to pawn it off as an education thing, what I'm saying is not necessarily truthful.
Yeah.
It's not truthful.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not truthful. What I think the college coaches want is the ability to recruit a wider range of players without promising them that they're going to start and they can develop them and keep competitive teams longer.
Yeah.
And they just need to say that.
That's right.
Don't make it like you're just trying to raise all these young men and that kind of thing.
It's about the money.
Yeah, it's about the money, and it's about the win.
Yeah.
Now, my thoughts as far as the NBA has the least amount of incentive to change it because they're putting the risk where they're using the college program as an addition for the pros. So they at least get 1 year to try and make it, even though it doesn't always pan out. So I'm going to stop there. I have more, but I want you to, just kind of respond or add in because, I want to compare it to some other professional sports.
And that's what I was going to do. And,
okay.
and I was going to say that, just looking at how the NFL, they do theirs, I mean, you got to go to school for 3 years. You got to be at least a junior. And I think the NBA should do the same thing. 3 years, within 3 years, you what, about 21 years old. Mm-hmm. You're more mature. Mm-hmm. And I think it teaches you to be more of a team player because you build that camaraderie. You have to go to class with these guys. You're living in dorms with these guys. You guys travel a lot, so you're building that camaraderie.
So what you're saying,
they're teaching you how to be more of a teammate.
So what you're saying is more to making it.
Yes, it's more. Yes,
than just having a particular
because that one
skill.
and done, you see a lot of these guys that, I don't think they really benefit from going straight from high school because in high school, they're the stud at their school, so it's all about them. So they go to college, and it's still all about them for that 1 year, and then they go on to the NBA. So it really didn't teach them anything about the team concept.
Well, how about this? This is if there is a benefit for the NBA to up the age range, and we know it's not about college, so let's just take the education because you wouldn't say 2-1, then go to 2 or even go to 3.
That's right.
But I think this is probably the plus side. I think allowing a player to develop longer will increase their chances of making a team and staying on a team. And I think that's in the best interest of the majority of players. LeBron would make that team out of high school regardless.
Yeah.
So this doesn't affect him. It just affects him, you know, you might not get all the money you want right away, but he was
right.
going to get it anyway.
That's right.
Kevin Garnett was going to get it anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it helps those. I think it helps the masses
Yeah. It does.
achieve that goal. That's what I think about that.
But there's guys like, Kwame Brown. He would have benefited from going to college because, I mean, look, Jordan brought him into the league, and he obviously was not ready.
Yeah.
I mean, his game never really matured.
Right. Right. I
And,
agree.
and these once you get the NBA, these NBA coaches, they
don't teach.
They're not going to teach
Yeah,
you. They don't have time to develop you.
You have a few
Yeah.
that are into instructing, but when you go in and they expect you to know
Yeah.
basic cuts, how to set a screen,
That's right.
like you're already supposed to come with. You're already supposed to come with some base level of basketball knowledge and skill because and I think that's what some of them complain about. Like, man, they really have to teach. And it's like teaching in regular school. It's a difference in teaching adults
Yeah.
versus teaching high schoolers versus middle schoolers and elementary.
Yeah.
So they're at and not saying that they can't, but they're assuming like you're coming with a certain level of expertise, and and the problem is you're competing against high level guys that already have it, and then you have some that are still developing. That's why you see the disparity in talent, and that's why it's not just the super teams that are throwing things off. It's a big difference between a player with talent that's still developing fundamentals and muscle memory
That's
and
right.
habits versus a seasoned pro that can do certain things in their sleep.
That's right.
And so for the product, the overall product, it's probably going to be better for them to do that.
It is.
But they have to back what they say by what they incentivize. You can't on one hand say, yeah, we want to do this, but then when it comes time, you're dropping mad cash.
Yeah.
Because the cash, cash? Cash is king, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to tip more than ever what you say, what you pay for.
Yeah.
Is what, they say, you want to know where a man's heart is? See where he put his money.
Yeah.
You tell me wherever, but I'm going to watch what you spend your hard-earned money on.
That's right.
That's where you know where their heart is. So the NBA's heart is where they're putting their money.
You're right. You're right.
You know?
And another thing I look at too with the NBA thing, and you don't want to look at it as, I don't know. It's just that I think the educational aspect is not something that they're promoting, but they should. The NBA should promote that more. I mean, you look at it with some of these guys that are going on that are playing college football and going on to the NFL. A lot of these guys have graduated from college already. They've gained their degree within 3.5 years.
Well, because you got to do 3.
That's right.
So you got to do 3.
That's
so
right.
if you're already in your 3rd,
That's right.
you might as well do your 4th.
So
yeah.
Is the NFL producing more productive citizens than the NBA, or what? I mean, or would you say that? Because you got guys. Okay, yeah. If you get hurt and you get hurt playing football, you still have your degree to fall back on. The NBA. You don't. You've been in college 1 year. You don't have no degree. You ain't got no education.
Well, I mean, but you get some that's a lot that have gone back to get it, and then in fairness, it's been a higher rate of even though the one and done, you focus on the ones that just do the one and done, but over the years there have been more NBA players that have graduated than ever.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that percentage is going to come down.
Yeah, but I think the one and done thing is the concern is over the ones that don't make it, the ones
right.
the tragic stories of the ones that don't make it, just so. And I think it's about, you try to put things in to protect people from themselves,
Mm-hmm.
but allow them freedom to make the best choice. So I think the good balance is, okay, fine, you don't have to do 4 years, but I know you feel like you're ready, but we're going to make sure.
Yeah.
And then you'll still be able to, because if you're not ready at year 2 or year 3, then you wasn't ready at year 1.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you would have got tossed out of there.
Well, it takes you a little while. Some people
No,
take
what I'm saying,
it takes time to mature.
What I'm saying, if you were get ready at year 1,
Mhm.
you'd be ready at year 2 and 3. If you're not ready at year 2 and 3, you definitely wasn't ready year 1 when you thought you were ready.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just called. You know what the problem is, man?
What is it?
It's and I'm not this divisive person that gets stuck on, baby boomers and millennials and all that. But the one thing about it is delayed gratification is one thing that just doesn't exist anymore. Like a lot of things,
Yeah.
man, in this life require you to wait. And waiting in this current society and watching things develop and knowing that it's a process, and if you tell somebody, yeah, you can do it, but man, in 4 years. 4 years, to them it feels like 40 years.
We're in a microwave society.
Yeah, it's straight microwave. And
Everything is quick.
everything is quick. Everything. Everything.
You're right.
So I think that lends into it.
It does.
And it's just going to be interesting to see what they do now. When you look at, for instance, you have, what is it, baseball. Baseball, you can come out
Straight out of high school.
straight out of high school, as long as you haven't. Okay, it's one criteria. You can come out straight out of high school, straight up, if you haven't played college.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you do go Division I, I believe you have to play 2 years.
Okay.
Then, but if you play Division III, no matter if you play Division III, no matter how long you played, you can come out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they have different stipulations, but also they have their farm league.
They do.
And so my thing is this, right? Playing devil's advocate again. If I said, you know what, man, I want to be an actor. No, I haven't been in any plays. No, I haven't been formally trained. No, I haven't been on Broadway. But man, I'm going to Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show up on Paramount Studios. I'm going to sit out there until I can get in. So, on one aspect, that's our we have free will. We have God-given freedoms where we can pursue our dreams. So then the other side is, well, should it even be a one and done at all? Should you be able to just come out and chase your dream, knowing it's a risk though?
Yeah.
Because I think with athletes, we treat them. We're building in. We have some social. We feel social responsible for when people fail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like when you see a great talent, it's like it's gonna be a shame if that dude don't make it. He's 7 feet tall. He can't go sit in a cubicle. He got to make it.
Yeah.
So we feel because you watch him on TV. But what about the person that decides, hey, I'm gonna be a comedian and I'm gonna go live in my car? There's no one saying, "Ho, man, you got to be 20, dude, and you need more life experience to cut these jokes." And matter of fact, don't come back until at least 1,000 people tell me that you're funny.
Yeah.
No, you can go out, you can go
Do
be a
all the
musician,
jokes.
you can go do
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody told us we had to work for ESPN,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Even though we can
Yeah.
get them a run for their money.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight up,
Yeah.
they steal stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. So at the same point, are we impeding? Is it an impediment to a person? Because let's just be real. This is the other thing. yes, they're in bed with college basketball.
They are big time.
And that's the thing. See, when you look at baseball, the colleges don't have an intimate relationship with the baseball. Baseball has an intimate relationship with their farm teams.
That's right.
So they're like, look, y'all do, it's two separate processes with them. They're like, y'all do what's best for y'all, and we'll pick talent in as we see fit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find them. You know, baseball feel like we'll find you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a direct feeder.
Yeah.
You know, soccer is kind of,
They'll find you.
yeah, they'll find you. You can go international. You can play for a bunch of teams. You know what I mean? They use college too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, so I think it's the relationship. They're protecting their interests. The skies that's protecting the interests of the player. And I know they're trying to make a win-win, but sometimes maybe the relationship needs to be two separate things.
Well, it's almost too far gone, though, man. And the reason why I say that, man, they're making these college coaches, these Division I college coaches, some of these guys are like celebrities.
You're right.
I saw the Ward fight the other night, and I was watching that, and Coach Cal was on the front row. Now, when have you ever seen a college coach on the front row of a professional boxing bout?
Well, he was at all the was it the draft?
These guys are like celebrities. No, okay, now the draft I understand.
No,
Okay,
but I mean, but think about it. But
yeah.
but not all of them. Not all of them.
That's right.
You know,
and see, I think
they're
that,
like, congratulations,
yeah.
I'm gonna get my cut.
and see
you know?
that again.
And
too,
he used this recruiting too.
That's right. And I think that is wrong to allow those guys in the door at the draft. You know, you have Nick Saban at the NFL draft sitting back in the green room. Why are you there? I mean, I understand you won't be there to congratulate your player. Congratulate them when they come to campus next week after they got drafted. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be in that, because that is a recruiting tool for you, because those 5-star players that are sitting out there and they was like, man, there's Coach Cal, Coach Saban, they at the draft with their boys.
But you know why he gets to go? You know why he gets to go? Because not only, okay, he made his school a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
He made himself a ton of money. He making those players a ton of money that day.
Yeah.
And guess who else he's making money for?
The school.
The NBA.
Well, and in the school too.
Yeah, because now when you put that superstar there, all those fans that follow, now that TV contract
That's
rolls
right.
in. So guess what? The red carpet, that's what I'm saying, those are signs that the relationship is too
Yes, it is.
convoluted.
It is.
It's too crowded. It's too gray.
It is. These guys should not be at that level. I mean, you're a college coach. The teaching part of the game is gone. It's out the door. I don't think these guys are really in it for the best interest of the kids anymore. I mean, it really is those $1 million paydays is what they're going for now.
But
these sponsorships. Why the coaches need sponsorships?
But Coach Cal gonna say, I am in it for the best. He said, what's the best thing to change their life, their family life? Money.
Yeah, and the money does help, but you also want these kids to be good, productive citizens.
No, I mean, I agree. I agree, but I think I'm making the argument.
Yeah.
That's the standing argument, because they're both valid arguments.
Yeah.
So I really think it comes down to, you can't legislate a person's desires. I mean, like boxing.
Yeah.
You know?
But you can't go straight from high school into that boxing ring.
But you can go to the Olympics.
You go to Olympics.
But what I'm saying, but I'm saying, you making your way.
Yeah, you got to make your way.
Yeah, and
that's a development.
And you can declare your professional status really early, but you don't have to go to school.
You ain't got to go to school.
You just got to have the goods. Now, you get knocked out after, guess what? No one says, man, it's sad Mayweather didn't make it. They said, hey, he tried it. It didn't work. All right, go get a job. Go do whatever it is you have to do. So I think, because that relationship is so convoluted, they're all in places probably they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I almost think, because you can't regulate a person's dream.
You're right.
You can't tell a person like what's unrealistic for me. What I see as a big risk might just be, you know, it's like that dude rapping. He's still making mixtapes at 40. You can't tell that man that he not about to get on.
Yeah.
It may even be obvious, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so
But I don't know. One day, this thing, I don't know if
So,
it's going to get worse.
in ending, this is how we're going to end this. If you were commissioner with absolute authority, you didn't have to go to a collective bargaining meeting. You didn't have to get buy-in from the players, just based on you, Kendrick. You know, you're a tyrant, and you can make these changes. And you're gonna Donald Trump it. You're gonna get it in there.
You're going to sign it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
look at it. Yeah.
What would you, in regards to one and done, if you could change it today, effective midnight, what would you do?
Man, you know that's a tough one though, man. See, and the thing is, I can't Donald Trump it because you know that dude. I have a heart. You know what I mean? Because
Okay.
like we said, these guys, the NBA has helped. These one and done. It's helped a lot of families. These guys are, you know, they're getting these big paydays, and they take care of their families. So I don't want to be able to. I don't want to stop an individual from being able to take care of his family and to have his family to be able to survive. Because some of these guys, their families out there, they can't eat.
Right.
They don't have the necessary things to make it in life, and these guys provide this for them. But on the other end, you are making these guys non-productive citizens because they feel that it's all about the sport and that payday, and education don't matter. And a lot of these guys have been taught that. So if I was the commissioner and I could change something, would I change that? I think I would probably change the age limit. I think 19 is too young for an individual to be out there with all those responsibilities on him. I think that individual needs to go off to college, or some kind of developmental something.
So you want a mini college on the team?
You know, it's really hard and it's difficult. It's a difficult thing because you
set
don't
them
want
free
to.
with millions.
Yeah,
they're adults.
You don't want to change what's happening because some of these people really need it, but in all actuality, you need to change it because it's hurting the game. And therefore, like I was saying earlier, those college coaches are becoming celebrities, and they're just getting these one and dones in the house. I think this thing needs to change.
So I think it depends on the hat you wear. If you're the commissioner, you work for all 32 of the teams, and your job is to grow the product and and he's grown it in one way and diminished it in another.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, if they're still getting big television contracts, and fans have not declined watching, and the playoff ratings were higher than ever, and jersey sales, all this stuff. So, you know, but then you have, what's your moral compass? What,
That's
you know,
what
what, you know, and I think it just varies. I think it's a difficult thing.
It is.
I think where the area where I would go to is all roads lead to Rome. Meaning I'm going to open as many avenues as possible to enter. I'm not going to even put the age thing in. With that being said, fully knowing, just like with anything else, if you go move to Hollywood and try to act and don't make it, okay, you
Gotta have plan B.
you got to have plan B. So I think if you realistically want to come out of high school, give up your eligibility and give it a try, what's going to happen? It's going to be a few casualties at first, but nothing speaks volumes more than the examples.
Yeah.
So it may be a few people, but then you're going to go and then you'll have someone to say, you know what? I've seen a bunch of guys that went one and done. My game's similar to theirs. I think I'm gonna go over here and try to develop my game more.
Yeah.
I seen this dude try to go through the D League. You know, very small percentage of guys make it out of the D League. I may not want to do that.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I just believe in giving more responsibility to people, because then they rise to the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Versus babying them, I think they rise to certain standards. I think they should have every opportunity to pursue an education if they want to, or develop themselves in any way they see fit. But I think, and I would kind of sever my relationship, put distance between the college and the pro, only because they're two different entities. One, college has a different mission than a professional basketball team. Their values, you know, a lot of times don't line up, and you're trying to mesh two entities together that have different goals, and that's why it's kind of
They used to have different goals.
Yeah, I mean, well, your athletic side in big schools are trying to adopt, because they changed it. The only reason they changed it's because what the NBA said.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think you have to do something with that relationship. You have to put a barrier there. You have to put some kind of filter on it. So that's really what I think. I don't think it's no easy answer.
Yeah.
But I think people have to do what's best for them in a more educated way. And that means, as far as high school coaches need to be more educated on, a lot of times it's the message you're sending a kid their whole life, their whole athletic life, their whole personal life. So you need to be saying certain things as trigger words that they've heard it year after year after year after year after year. They go in with a certain mindset. They go in understanding the pros and the cons about every type of decision or every avenue as far as trying to go pro or approach college or whatever. You know, just like college, you go in and say, okay, well, what kind of scholarship am I going to get? Is this a 1-year scholarship, or is it a 4-year athletic scholarship? Is it renewable every year? Is it 4? Or is my scholarship good academic-wise even if I don't perform well? You see what I mean? So it's certain things. I just think fundamentally at a young age, kids have to they have to be educated so they don't get taken advantage of, and that they go into the situations as a family unit, knowing fully well what they're getting, what the ramifications are for the student.
Well, nowadays, I think I got to give the colleges credit on this. I think the college coaches, they do take an effort. It's more of an effort to let the parents and the kids know.
But that's a crash course.
What it takes to get recruited.
But that's a crash course.
It is.
You should go in already knowing.
Yeah, and I think
it shouldn't be.
And the high school coaches are doing a little better job of that nowadays too. And the guidance counselors, so they're letting the kids know what exactly what it takes to get there.
Yeah, but I'm saying it has to be the next level. It's not just these are the grades. Yeah. And this is the GPA, and this is what you need to score on this test. It needs to be, let me explain to you the different ways to go in here and what the ramifications are for each.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what this one and done could possibly mean to you if you ever in this situation.
Yeah.
This is, you know, like whatever the current trends are, whatever the things that are affecting, and those are the things that need to be talked about, because it's more, like you said, it's a business then.
That's right. Well, let me tell you one person that I do believe has been informed of all this.
Go for it.
Lonzo Ball.
Well, he's been preaching to his kids a long time.
That's right.
He's been preaching to his kids a long time.
And I think he has his son is prepared.
Yeah.
He's probably the most prepared. Besides, I would think Kobe Bryant with the one and done.
Well, the daddy is not jaded.
Nah.
For sure. He fully understands what's going on. Yeah, he's a little loud and boisterous, but beneath it all, he has a full understanding.
Yes,
I think he goes to the nth degree to try to let them know I'm no dummy and I totally understand. Like I said, he's negotiated his kids' through UCLA, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
he knows exactly.
He got it together. You
Yeah.
just hear him, and you listen to the way the way his son talks, and the respect that kid has for the folks and for the game.
The one thing you never heard nobody say, they might say he's loud, he's boisterous, and he's unorthodox, but they never said he didn't understand. Now, he may be off with the shoe stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but they never said he didn't understand the inner workings of navigating his basketball.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. He totally executed a plan to get his kid on the Lakers.
And he did it.
Yeah. So that means you don't do that without really understanding.
That's right.
And it's beyond talent.
It is.
Because despite of everything that he said, Magic's still messing with him. And Magic know what he doing.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's just our thoughts, folks.
Yeah.
On the one and done, we just thought we need to cover
Oh,
something
there
other
will
than
be
stats. But please subscribe. Feel free to leave your comments. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Peace.